What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today I'm going to show you guys how to get Exalted with all of the different reputations related to the Cataclysm expansion. The first one we're going to look at here is the Avengers of Hyjal. Now, the Avengers of Hyjal is located in Hyjal, and it's related to the Firelands raid, and that's where you're going to get all the reputation. There's no tabard, no daily quest, you just kill shit in Firelands, and after you do it for long enough, you're going to get Exalted. Now, what you get from Exalted is obviously you'll get some transmog items, but those don't really matter too much. The main thing that people who probably are doing this for is probably the achievement, and or the title. The title is Avenger of Hyjal. Now, the way you get reputation is you can farm trash up until Honored. After Honored, only some of the trash gives you reputation, and if you're trying to farm trash into Revered, like, you're going to be having a bad day. Like, I remember people were trying to do that back whenever this came out, and it was just like the biggest headache ever. And so I recommend to, as soon as you get to Honored, just start killing the bosses and just clear the instance normally. Balerock, Major Domo, and Rag give more reputation than the other bosses. It doesn't really matter too much because all of them are very easy to kill, and it's important that you do this on Heroic. Now, 10 and 25 man make no difference, but on Heroic, each boss gives you more reputation if you kill it on Heroic. And so, again, like, this is, Warlords of Draenor, so this stuff is like 2 expansions old. I think that pretty much anybody who is at least like 630 geared would have a pretty easy time being able to solo 10-man Heroic Firelands, and so that's going to give you, I'd say, somewhere around 4.7 thousand reputation with the guild perk. And so you want to make sure you do this every week, and it should take you about 5 to 6 weeks. Actually, probably a little bit more than that, but the run only takes less than an hour, so it's not really too bad. The next reputation we're going to look at here is called Baradin's Wardens. Now, this is named slightly different for Horde, but this is the reputation associated with Tol Barad. This is another very easy reputation to get. What you do is you go to the Tol Barad area, which is located, there's a portal located near your, we call it near like where all the Cataclysm portals are in Orgrimmar or Stormwind, and you go and do the dailies. And also, as you can see there, if the Tol Barad's like Wintergrasp, and it's like kind of like Ashram. And so, like, each 2 hours, like, the 2 factions fight over control of it, and if your faction has control over it, you have access to 6 extra dailies inside Tol Barad. Now, we're going to go in there. Those are the rewards, by the way. So you can get a ton of little cool things, like you get a mount, a little pet, and I think you get one other thing, but the mount and the pet are pretty much the only things you really want to do. Now, as you can see, look at that big old guy over there. You're going to have to kill him. And so, see, here's where you pick up the other quests, and this is going to be inside Tol Barad. Now, again, you can do the quests outside the actual Tol Barad area anytime. It doesn't matter. But if you want to do the quests inside the Tol Barad area, you need to make sure that your faction has control over the Tol Barad. As you can see, the next battle there. And so you can mouse over there, and sometimes it'll have like an alliance or a horde thing, and so it'll tell you whether you can where you can go over there and do it or not. Now, this is reputation that obviously will take a little bit of time because you have to do the dailies, but other than that, it's pretty easy to do. The next one we're looking at here is the Wildhammer clan. There's a different name for this as Horde, and I'm not really sure what it is. Now, all the rest of these are going to be tabard, tabard like reputations, and so we're not really going to look at the dailies that you need to do to get these reputations or anything else, because all that stuff is a complete waste of time, because there it is right there on the map, by the way. I think the Horde one is somewhere where like that Blood Gulch area is. I'm not entirely sure because I haven't really played Horde too much, but I think that's where it is. And so there's an identical reputation for Horde that's just in that same area in Twilight Highlands. The next reputation we're looking at here is Therazane. Now, Therazane used to give shoulder enchants, I'm pretty sure. Shoulder or head and helm enchants. Either way, the tabard you get here is, like, it's basically the same thing. As I said, there's going to be 5 of these reputations that you just wear the tabard and you just clear instances and you're going to be able to get the rep. There it is right there on the map. This is in Deep Homes for Therazane Stone. You have to do kind of a few quests to get up to here because this faction originally starts out as hostile to you. And so just be aware of that. The next one we're going to look at here is Guardians of Hyjal. Now, this is located in Hyjal again, and you just buy the tabard and you do the same thing. I think that you don't really get a whole lot out of these. Like, most of the reason why people are going to be doing these outside of probably Romkin is because Romkin gives them out, but the rest of these people just do them for the achievement or for, actually that's pretty much it. And this other one is the Earthen Ring. Now, the Earthen Ring is located in Vashj'ir, which means if you haven't gone through Vashj'ir, that's where it is. Vashj'ir is kind of it's very hard to navigate if you haven't really been around there, but it's in this little shimmering area, and you just like swim up into here, and there's little flight masters that are actually seahorses, which is pretty cool, and they can take you there if you have been in Vashj'ir before. Earthen Wing doesn't really give anything super noteworthy. This is where Romkihan is, and Romkihan is a reputation associated with Oldham, and you have to actually do a few quests for them, and those quests begin in 10 hours. I'll show you guys on a map where that is. There it is right there, and so there's like a little pathway leading in. There's a caravan. You do the caravan quest, and it'll lead you up into Romkin. As soon as you get friendly with them, you can go ahead and get that tabard and just get that going as well. And Romkin actually will give you something kind of cool, which is a little camel mount. I didn't really show the camel mount in the video because it's not really super important, but it's a camel. Okay, just trust me on that. So the way you want to farm these reputations is you want to go to Grim Batal. Now this is going to be the fastest place to farm all of them, and I'm going to show you guys why. I'm going to be doing 5-minute runs here. You want to do this on normal mode, and the reason for that is that on heroic mode you can only do heroic once a day, right? And so if you're doing it on normal, you can do it 10 times an hour. Now somebody asked me about this the other day, and I don't really think I mentioned that in my last video, is that for any of you guys that don't know, instances have a cap of you can only do 10 instances per hour. And so if you cleared the same instance and reset the same instance over 10 times in 1 hour, you can no longer zone in until your first instance has been at least 1 hour since, like, I guess like you're trying to zone into your 11th. So it's not like you get locked out for an hour afterwards. It's just you can only do 10 per hour. You can only fit 10 into a 1 hour block. And so very, very simple. The reason I'm doing this on my Moonkin is because Moonkins are awesome. Starfall is just fucking amazing. I'm going to loot some of this stuff, and I'm not going to loot other stuff. Now, another reason why I'm doing Grim Batal is that you can make a lot of money by running Grim Batal. I did a video about this like literally over a year ago, I think, and pretty much pulled the entire thing with my Warlock. It was really, really cool to do. And you can make a good amount of money here because you can get the greens, and also you can get the Ember Silk cloth. Now, if you guys are like me, on my server, Ember Silk bags go for like 300 gold, and so if you have a tailor, you can go ahead and disenchant the stuff, and then pretty much work it out to where you can make some Ember Silk bags and probably make a good amount of money. Now, each of these mobs here is going to be giving you 10 reputation. Sometimes it'll give you 15. It just kind of depends. Now, heroic sometimes will give you a little bit more, but of course it's not really worth the effort because you can only do it once a day. So maybe like at your last run of the day, you could go through and do heroic. Heroic is a little bit difficult for anybody who's not level 100. Well, it's difficult to speed run. Like, it's not really difficult to run, period. It's just difficult to speed run, and or like AOE pull. I guess like whatever. That's honestly what it is. It's difficult to AOE pull. But if you're level 100, you should probably be able to do heroic just as easily as you can do normal mode, honestly. The other thing that's really good about this is that, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the bosses give 150 reputation each. And so as soon as you kill a boss, you're obviously going to get a pretty big jump. As you can see there, I got a pretty big jump in my reputation bar. And you can probably farm 1 reputation per hour if you're very efficient. And so I would say, like, well, you guys can see like at the beginning of this video how much reputation I had, and I'm going to do 1 full run, and then that's how much I'm going to end up with. It's pretty obvious, right? So if you can multiply that by 10 and maybe like by 8 or something like that, just kind of because Moonkins are very fast at doing this, and so maybe you might not really be as fast. Like if you're like a warrior or something, it's probably not going to be very easy for you to run this 10 times an hour. See, it used to be 5 times an hour, and that's why I keep messing that up. It was 5 times an hour for like 60 years, okay? And so either way, this is very easy to do, and the only thing that you really need to watch out for here is you don't want to fall off the edge, because you can. And I've fallen off the edge a couple times trying to jump from like one side to another side, like doing a jump over the lava like I'm in Lord of the Rings or some kind of shit, and I fell off. So I mean, that's embarrassing. It was like, at least I was doing it by myself, so nobody knows about that, except for you guys, of course, because I just said it, but at least y'all didn't see it happen, right? So after you do all this, you're going to get about, if I just had to put a number on it, I would say about probably like maybe 1,500 to 2,000 rep a run. I don't really know entirely. And if you make money, like my original estimate whenever I did this last year was about 3,000 to 4,000 gold per hour. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate now, just because of the changes, but that was back whenever there was a 5 instance limit, and now there's a 10 instance limit. And with Ember Silk bags selling for how well they do, I'm really not sure if that is really inaccurate or accurate. I straight up do not know. And so another thing that's good about this is that I'll show you guys there's a really easy way to, I guess, like get to the beginning of the instance as soon as you kill the last boss, because one of the real pains in the ass here, and this is what I always try and do, is always trying to find an instance where you can kind of do a loop around so you don't have to spend half your time just running back across everything that you already killed, because that's a huge waste of time. And whenever you're trying to maximize your time, well then, shit, right? And so here's the last boss here, and another thing that's good about Grim Batal. Now, I will mention a couple things right now. Is that Lost City of Tol'vir is decent. If you want to do Halls of Origination, because there's like 7 bosses in there, that's fine. But my recommendation is Grim Batal. If you don't think that that's the best, then you can go do another instance, and that's fine. I tried out, what was it, Lost City of Tol'vir, and I think I tried out one other one, but I didn't think either one of them was very good. So after you kill the last boss, you just go over here and stand in the fire. It's actually the lava. Now, lava does 10% of your health every second, so you just stand in here, kill your character, and you're going to die while you're running back. You go ahead and you reset the instance, and you just keep doing it over and over and over. Now, this is extremely useful. Now, this is especially, I guess, like lucrative if you have guild repairs like I do. And so that costs me nothing. And so that's one thing that's really good if you have guild repairs. If you don't, it really doesn't matter either way. It's probably like, what, 20 gold? And I would prefer to spend 20 gold to not have to run back every single time. And so again, just reset the instance on the way back, and you just go ahead and do it again. And so you guys can see there, that's how much reputation I gained, and it took me about 5 minutes to do the run. That's pretty much all it's going to take to get Exalted with these reputations. If you guys have any other questions, and these other factions like the Guardians of Hyjal and Romkin, they have dailies associated with them. I think Romkin has like 1, but a lot of other ones have more. I know that, what is it? I know the Wildhammer clan. I know the Wildhammer clan has like 5 or 6 dailies associated with it. But in the time that it takes you to do these dailies, you can go and do Grim Batal, and you make more money, and it's just about the same amount of reputation. And so this is my recommendation. Just keep running this instance over and over and over, and it'll probably take you 1 hour per reputation. And so 5 hours if you want to just neckbeard it up one day, and that's all it's going to take. So that's pretty much all I got. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.